Hello too. So yeah, I guess the big news is that we're having a general election.
Yeah, cup of tea's just asked who I'd vote for, and that's obviously I'm assuming that's relating to the general election, not my local PTA.
12th of December.
Yes, the Lib Dems was trying to change it to no, it has to be the 9th, guys. It has to be the 9th. It's
You
like
know why?
fuck
You know
off,
why that is? So that
isn't
you
it? So that
catch
um,
people at uni.
oh, is it? Oh,
Nat Lynch is in. I ain't that.
all this fucking. I'm so glad the vote passed because they were all stood there saying, "Oh, you're robbing people of the right to vote. It's going to ruin Christmas for people." And it's like, for fuck's sake, mate! It's 10 minutes. It takes less time than popping out for milk. Fuck off. If you can't vote, then
Plus the
fuck
fact
off.
no real man does his Christmas shopping before Christmas Eve anyway.
I know, yeah, on the 12th. On what? On what? No, no, no,
Didn't
no.
didn't the 16-year-old voting get weren't the amendments knocked back?
Yeah, they were killed, weren't they? Yeah, yeah.
So 16-year-olds can't, quite rightly, they can't vote. They shouldn't be
Yeah,
allowed to bloody
because
vote.
because again, the problem with this fucking parliament again is they just they try and sneak an amendment in there that would take months. Like if you actually said, yeah, all right, 16 and EU citizens are allowed to vote, you're looking at months. I mean, the system doesn't even work as it is now. The last two times I've gone, I've not been on the sheet. I've been scrawled in pencil on the back of the thing, and it took ages for them to find me. Like someone's just kind of added it that morning, or something. And I've lived here for years. No last minute registration or
They
anything. I'm
should.
right on it, me.
I don't believe in letting 16-year-old kids vote anyway. It's just a
Oh,
stupid idea.
can they fuck? I mean, Jesus Christ, man. Like, I mean, even 18-year-olds, you're
And my
like, what?
favourite one, we want to allow Europeans to vote.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, man. There's an argument for both, isn't there? If a
No.
16-year-old is working and paying taxes, then there is an argument for it. I would say there's an argument. If you're not going to let them vote, then under 18 shouldn't have to pay any taxes. I mean, a lot of them don't
Well, they
anyway,
can't
but
smoke either.
no,
They
no,
can't
no,
drive
no.
a car. Do you know why? Because they're stupid. They're 16 years old.
They're easily distracted.
Exactly. So, no, 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 no. It's ridiculous. And the one for letting Europeans vote, there's absolutely no argument for letting Europeans vote in something that affects the UK.
Yeah.
No, I don't
Well,
understand that. Why
it's
should somebody from Germany be allowed to vote in our
yeah.
elections? I don't.
That's the thing. It's one of them, isn't it? Like you'd have an argument if someone was settled after several years, or whatever, and this was like their home or whatever. Then yeah, but at that point, you're looking at giving them citizenship, isn't there? Which
Yeah.
our system for that is a fucking nightmare as it is.
No, if they're not
Um,
citizens, then you shouldn't be allowed to vote. It's just how it
yeah,
is. It's not.
yeah, of course. I
I'm
don't go
sick of
somewhere,
pandering to fucking everybody.
mate. I was in Taiwan and there was a huge election going on, massive. Like we kept having to shut down the shoot because the people would just be marching through, and at no point I was like, "Well, can I just have a go, please? I don't like those guys there. I don't think he's a bit fat." Blah blah blah. No, it's like I. This isn't my country.
I take
Therefore,
I take it that comment was when you were slimmer.
no, this guy was really fat.
Well, you'll get there.
Fuck off. Fuck off.
I mean that in
Even
a
my mum.
positive way. There's
I'm
nothing
not
wrong with
that
it.
fat. I'm not. Look at this t-shirt hanging off
You're
me.
on
Look
your
at it.
way. You're
Look
on
at
your
this.
way.
I'm on my way back down, actually.
Yeah, I've
Um,
noticed.
Mate, the burgers I had today as well. It's not helped anything. Burgers and
Sutty's
sugary coffee.
Sutty's Rehab has rightly pointed out they wouldn't let the English vote in the Scottish referendum. They should, because they'd get their independence really, really quickly.
Yeah, loads of us just going, fuck it. Hilarious, wouldn't it? But it's no, but it's true. It's true. I mean, and I get it. I get why you might let them vote for certain things. Obviously, they vote for EU elections because it's across the EU or whatever, and it's done on population anyway, so it doesn't really matter where they're living. But they do vote in local elections as well, though, don't they? Which I kind of get. It's kind of all right, if you're living in an area and you're paying taxes. But again, I think that taxes should be kept way more local than they currently are. I think it's a joke the way they're sort of all sent to London, and then London maybe gives a little bit of it back to us in the form of whatever.
Add it to your Communist Manifesto, Booth.
That's not. That's nothing to do with communism.
Of course it has.
Fuck off.
Everything. You can disguise it how you want. I know how you people fucking work.
Do you think that's what I am now? A communist,
Yeah,
hiding,
because that's what you do.
hiding as an advocate for capitalism.
Absolutely,
and
but as soon as you start describing it, it's like the people will own everything.
No,
I
no,
heard
no.
it. I heard it. Don't worry, everybody else heard it as well. There's no game around it. Your card's fucking
You're talking
marked.
about one specific example,
And that gave
where
you away.
you were asking,
And that gave you away.
and then and I gave you a counterpoint to it, and I gave you other ways it could happen. And because the thing about freedom is, if people do want to get together and do things, they can do that if they so choose. Fuck you, man.
Graham got the cap from the estate of John Merrick.
So how you? Yeah, Uncle John. All those funny fingers when I was a boy. This is all I got for it. I still have to wipe my bum an hour after I've pooed every time because of John.
Something terrible, when you just explained to me again how you weren't a communist.
Yeah.
I didn't hear a word of it. I mean, literally, it's kind of strange.
Even if you had it done, it wouldn't have gone in, would it? Let's be honest. But no, seriously, I want to know your feeling. What's your feeling about the election? What was when you heard it was going through? What happened?
At first, it was just a deep sigh. It's like, oh God, just another fucking hoop to jump through. God's sake, can they not just do their jobs?
Well, no, that's why we need an election.
But that's what
Really?
I mean. Isn't it ridiculous? Isn't it
yeah,
ridiculous?
yeah.
They're just when they were screaming to get back in Parliament, what have they achieved? The Ben Act.
Oh no.
All they did was take away from us the one thing we had to negotiate with, because in a private meeting, Barnier wouldn't allow cameras in. One of the negotiators, one of our people there, has said they're being quite clear that during the transition period, they're going to spank us. They're going to spank us hard. And we took away the one thing we have to bargain with. I don't understand this ridiculous attitude. All right, you don't want to leave. Well, yeah, but we had a referendum. You can bang on again and again and again that it was on the advisory. We were told what would happen if we voted leave. We were told implicitly we would leave with or without a deal, even though there is no leaving without a deal. It's actually impossible.
Yeah, but we were also had an election a year later where, was it like 85%, 80%, 85% of the people who were voted in under the thing of honouring the referendum.
Exactly.
So it was advisory thing is null and void. It's just one of these endless talking points people just parrot on. Like now they're all going on about buying a house. Imagine buying a house and you have to wait for it, and then 3 years later it's falling apart, and it's like, well, yeah, but you could also say, imagine you're buying a house and half the estate agents spent 3 years banging away at the foundations of the fucking thing before you got to move in. You'd want the estate agents head on a stick, wouldn't you?
Yeah, because they didn't want you to move in.
Yeah, they didn't want you to. They'll take your money and they'll take your trust, but they won't give you the fucking keys to the place.
But what do I think will happen?
Yeah,
I think we're gonna end up with a Conservative majority government. I think we'll finally get a Brexit. By the same token, we'll have a Conservative majority government who will be arseholes for the next 5 years.
Yeah,
and punish places like Greater Manchester for having Labour councils ad nauseum. It will carry on.
Labour councils, and we are a Remain city who spray "fuck the Tories" on every wall that's available. It really annoys me that about Manchester. Never trust a Tory. It's like these fucking idiots just for some reason think that trusting any politician is appropriate.
Yeah, that's the thing that pisses me off. Is like, well, I vote Labour, my dad vote. The Labour that your dad and granddad voted for is not the Labour that we have now. It's not been the same since Blair.
No.
A lot of the previous generations won't forgive them for the 70s because they made up fucking pig's ear of things. So yeah, I predict now how I'm going to vote. I've got no idea. I don't even know if I will, because I can't vote Labour. I can't.
No, I'm completely with you there, man.
I can't vote Lib Dem because they're despicable. but I can't vote Conservative.
Do you know what? I heard a great story about a a Labour councillor local for us, and I can't tell you on air. I'll tell you in person. Absolute arsehole, literally waving that I'm a Labour councillor as if that's a pass, like a I've just come down from heaven pass. Well, you know I'm one of the good ones, whilst being a complete arsehole. I'll tell you off air though, because I don't want us to get wind that I'm talking about her.
No.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I actually looked up today. I was trying to find who is running for the Brexit Party in Manchester.
Oh
So I
yeah.
thought it might be fun to invite him down on Saturday, but they've not listed anyone yet. And they've been honest about that. They said we're not listing anyone until like as late as possible because they don't want the smear machine to jump on them too quickly. And
No,
I get
because
that.
we'd have really helped with that on Saturday.
Well, I could have invited him. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't mean they'll come. It just might have been funny. It might have been good for morale, having some Brexit Party loon.
Absolutely.
Spouting the propaganda at us, getting us all hyped up. But for me personally, I mean, all right. Oh, by the way, hi Daz, hi Cyrock Closed, hi 400. But for me, this whole thing about the people's vote or a second referendum and all that nonsense, I don't think that would have worked in any way whatsoever. If they had passed a bill to say, which they've said no to several times, but if they had passed, yes, we want a second referendum, a confirmatory referendum, put it back to the people, as they keep saying, this parliament that we have now would be completely incapable of agreeing on what the question would be and what the answers would be.
They can't agree on anything. It's absolutely bizarre.
Would be the same, and I'm not saying that in favour of leave or remain or anything. There would be no agreements whatsoever. So we have to have a general election. And people are going, oh, well, it could be on our parliament. It could. We've got the Lib Dems are the only strong leave party, so they are going to get some votes. Brexit are like clean break, whatever. They're going to rip some shit up in the north of England. I'm really intrigued to see what happens there. So those two wild cards against. The Tories are doing better, but obviously the Tories lose out. As soon as we go past Halloween, their opinion polls go down, but they'll fight it. Of course they will. 2 months is a long, long time for them to come back. But it's an interesting four-way race, isn't it? No one knows what's going to happen. I do agree with you, though. I think the Tories are probably going to get in. And unfortunately, I fucking hope they do. We need that Tory majority right now just to do anything. Because can you imagine what would happen if Labour got in power at this point?
Oh God, no.
We'd put Parliament back on and just watch them fight with each other again about what Brexit means and what people thought they were, all that bollocks.
The idea of a Labour government right now with someone like Diane Abbott in the cabinet, Jeremy Corbyn, Keir Starmer. No. I can't imagine how it's coming to something when you're more frozen with dread by a prospective Labour government than a Tory government.
Yeah, and you're right, man. You're right. The Tories come with a lot of baggage, but it is what it is, isn't it? My personal hope is that the Brexit Party do really well. The Brexit Party do what UKIP should have done in the European elections.
I think there's still a possibility, although Boris Johnson has said he wouldn't do it. We all know that Boris can't keep his word so long as he's got a hole in his ass.
Yeah.
I think if Brexit Party and the Tories agreed where Brexit Party would stand and where they wouldn't, they'll clean up. They'll clean up. Can you imagine? Fat Belly's just pointed out Corbyn could resign if they lose and Abbott becomes the Labour leader.
Has Labour done for another generation?
Yeah, well, I think she put a tweet out saying it's on the 37th of December, didn't she?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, my hope really is, I do hope that the Brexit Party cleans up north. And to be honest, they depending on how it feels, they might even get me vote round here. Although it's a weird one living in Manchester because it's fucking pointless. It's just people are just phenomenally brainwashed.
It's like where I live. Nobody is happy with the way it's run, the council, the services. Nobody's happy with it at all. And they're all moaning and complaining. So you say, well, vote for someone else. No, I can't do that.
No. It's like, well, I can count up. I was thinking about it the other day. I can count up 1,000 houses, literally 1,000 homes that I am personally aware of that the Labour Council have knocked down. And there's likely a hell of a lot more. That's
Well,
just the ones I'm
look,
personally aware of
look
through
at
my work.
Beswick.
Yeah, Beswick's
They
gone.
knocked an entire community down to build houses that nobody that lives around there could ever hope to afford.
Look,
Even the
yeah.
apartments started at like £90,000 or
Fucking
£100,000.
Hattersley, man, Hattersley. Loads of those tower blocks sat empty for years,
Mm.
and then they just knocked them down. And it was like, well, you could have the money you spent knocking them down, you could have improved them. You could have made them like awesome. Do you know what I mean? And there's like literally like 300 homes right there. And now they're like, oh, the fucking Tories not building enough fucking houses. And it's like, yeah, because you couldn't build them. You couldn't knock them down quick enough. So don't start lecturing me. Fucking Labour. I
Oh,
can't
full of
stand
shite.
Labour in
Full of
Manchester.
shite. They're terrible. Their sense of entitlement's awful.
So yeah, I honestly think the Brexit Party, because it is a mix of a lot of different people. They don't have a clear manifesto, which is a good and bad thing, but they don't. But I think just having that hard, having that sort of like that deal with the DUP, it's not really worked out for anyone, is it?
No.
But having the Brexit Party there, who are just like fucking oh no, I think that could work. That could work as an agreement, and I think they could do deals with them in the long run as well.
Well, there's
Um,
another reason we've got to get this Brexit shit sorted out.
Why? Why? What?
Because we're not doing anything else.
Yeah, 100%.
We're not
Um,
doing anything else. It used to be in Britain that most of the elections were based around social issues. That's the way it was. The person that the party that promised the most social improvement, whichever way that came about through private enterprise or public spending, whichever it was, that tended to be the party. Well, I believe them. That's who I'll vote for. That's usually how it worked, whether it be Labour or Tory. This is a one-issue election.
oh yeah, 100%.
One issue.
Although it's quite interesting, Jeremy Corbyn didn't put anything to do with Brexit in his speech relating to it. They're both trying to, well, Labour especially, but both major parties are trying not to mention it as much, especially Labour though, because they just go workers' rights, even though that in itself doesn't really mean very much. It's
No.
just one of those things that gets people excited and like yes, and we're going to give away 20% of businesses and all that shit, and it's like yeah. And it's all fucking nonsense. They don't do it. Look at Manchester. They don't do any of this shit.
Well, that's the other thing. It's like we never learn. Every election we're bombarded with promises they never lived up to. Yet for some reason we're pulling people over Brexit promises.
Yeah.
As if somehow it's unusual that a politician would promise the earth and deliver shit. This is what these people fucking do. Shower of arseholes. I should have left the door open. It's getting cloudy in here.
Yeah, it's getting very warm in here, actually. It's getting very, very warm in here for me. And I'm quite nervous as well because the